I said, Gran, I'm with Ellen. And she said, Alan? Who's Alan? She's Australian.
Tell everybody how old she is at this point.
She's 99 at this point.
I think that's why it's important for people that have this platform to be a representative, because there are lots of people like you out there. People who feel like there's nobody else like you. There's lots of people.
You came into my life on the second season of this show. We've been together for 17 years.
And a half.
And, and a half.
Yeah.
So with this show ending, you know, it's actually, you know, a big thing for both of us, because you've watched me go through everything with this show. But I learned today, which I didn't know, there's a story of watching me the first show on the first season.
Yeah, so, you know, I was an actress and I was closeted, and Ellen was kind of like the litmus test for young actors in Hollywood, because we just, you know, her success meant so much to us. It kind of meant, can I be authentic and honest and still be able to pay the rent, you know? So I remember watching the first episode of this show, standing the entire time. And I remember, I was alone, I remember saying out loud to the TV, she did it. And yeah, because, I mean, you could just feel the magic. Oh my gosh, I'm emotional already. That's terrible. No, but you can feel the magic in the show, and I just knew that it was going to be around for as long as you wanted it to be.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that that's how you watch the show. I didn't know you didn't have furniture then, but but I mean, I think what's amazing too is that since we've been together, I mean, many things have changed. I mean, you came out basically by just being with me. That was your outing, like just being with me. Outed you as an actress, but your story about telling your grandmother that you were with me is a beautiful story that I would love you to share with them.
Yeah, well, my grandma meant everything to me. We were actually born on the same day, and she was so special to me. And she was a huge fan of Ellen. She loved the sitcom.
In Australia?
In Australia, yeah. Loved her sitcom, wouldn't miss an episode, until the episode where she came out. Now, I know I'm gay at this point, and I love my gran. And the minute that Ellen came out, she refused to watch the show. In fact, if a commercial for her show came on, she would change the channel and say, "That disgusting woman." So that didn't bode well for me. And then I moved to LA and I started my own career, and of course, I got together with Ellen. And I came home to see my family in Australia, and I sat by Gran's chair at her feet, and she said to me, "Are you seeing anyone special?" Now, at this point, my mom was supposed to have told Gran that I was with Ellen. And she knew that we lived together. And I said, "Gran, I'm with Ellen." And she said, "Alan? Who's Alan?" She's Australian.
Tell everybody how old she is at this point.
She's 99 at this point. And I said, "Yeah, I mean, you knew that I lived with Ellen." And she said, "Yes, and all this time I was worried that that lesbian was hitting on my granddaughter." Right? So then she literally puts her head in her hands for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, silent. And I thought, that's it. I've killed my grandma. She's just gonna literally fall out. I really thought that I did. And she just looked at me and she goes, "Well, I love you just the same." Yeah.
And that was a beautiful thing for someone at that age to have such strong feelings and then just say, well, if she just thought about it, I love you just the same.
Yep.
Her mother, Maggie, had been taking care of her, but it got to the point where she couldn't take care of her anymore, so we put her in the best home care that we could provide for her. And she died at 101? 103?
Mm.
Really? She was 103?
Yeah.
She died at 103 with our wedding picture next to her bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm a little messy today, but I am so happy that you're here today on
I'm
the show.
so proud to be here with you.
Well, I'm proud to be here with you because, yep, you're gay too.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, how was it for you? Because when you say, it's one thing to know you're gay or to feel you're gay, but when you tell someone and that comes out of your mouth, do you remember the first time you told someone you were gay?
I was trying to think. I think it was in a bar in college, and I had a girlfriend that I just thought was the end of the world, and so I was sitting in a bar and I said to somebody, "I'm gay." Well, I mean, I thought it was a great thing to announce.
You did.
But it wasn't so great at that
Yeah.
time. It was like,
Sure.
late 60s.
Yeah. Well, you were working then, right? What were
No,
you
I
doing?
didn't start working until the last show of '69 on Laugh-In.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I assumed you were on Laugh-In the whole time.
No, I came in the third year.
Wow. And so you were conscious that everyone you worked with knew you were gay, or no? Were you hiding it?
Well, yeah, I didn't hide it. I couldn't bear that, but I didn't volunteer it.
Mm-hmm.
But people gradually knew.
Right. And how long have you been with Jane?
51 years in March. That's so funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so envious of that. That's so great to have that amount of time with someone.
It really is. I can't believe it's that long. It just seems like a couple of years or something.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, no, I know. It's wonderful.
Our first guest made history during his commencement speech at BYU last week. The school was founded in 1875, and in almost 150 years, this has never been done before. In front of faculty, staff, family, and strangers, Matt Easton came out as gay. Take a look.
Congratulations to those who at some point felt alone or afraid or uncertain while here. Congratulations to my siblings of color, my LGBTQ friends. You are seen, you are loved, and today you are here to celebrate. It was in these quiet moments of pain and confusion that I felt another triumph. That of coming to terms not with who I thought I should be, but who the Lord has made me to be. As such, I stand before my family, friends, and graduating class today to say that I am proud to be a gay son of God.
From Salt Lake City, Utah, please welcome Matt Easton. Well, first of all, you're a brave man. It's a hard thing to do to come out. It's a very, very difficult thing for a lot of people. And for you to do it, first of all, congratulations for being that brave. And then to do it at your commencement speech at BYU. Tell everyone about BYU if they don't understand.
Yeah, so I just graduated from Brigham Young University. It's a college in Utah. And we're known for our very strict honor code. So we agree before we go, we can't drink alcohol, smoke tobacco, and we can't enter into gay relationships. So that means no holding hands, no kissing. So it's pretty tough there sometimes, especially if you're gay.
Okay, yeah, or want to drink. So, all right, so what made you decide that that's how you were going to come out in front of, because that's bold.
Thank you, yeah. So, it's something I've, been wrestling with my whole life. And I thought, should I do it, should I not? And ultimately I decided, there's no better place to do it than here. I thought, I'm ready, this is a new chapter in my life, I'm graduating, and I want to live more authentically, live more honestly. And more than that, I want to give visibility to the other students who are gay who maybe aren't so ready to come out.
Yeah, well, you heard people responding when you talked about the community. So were you nervous when you were, did you almost chicken out, or how did you feel?
Yeah, oh my gosh, my hands were so sweaty, I was so nervous. I was going back and forth, oh, I'm going to do this. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I got right up there, and it just felt so right. I was so ready to do it.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. So there are certain things that I know that I'm not allowed to ask you. What are those things?
Man, Ellen. Yeah, so as I said before, our honor code is very strict that we agreed to live by. So, I couldn't, if there was somebody I liked, I couldn't kiss him or hug him or even maybe shake his hand. If somebody saw me,
Wait, if you like someone, you can't shake their hand?
I mean, potentially, you know, any signs or show of homosexual feelings. So, you know, potentially I have a male friend, if I gave him a hug, somebody could report me to the honor code and, you know, I could be expelled
Even
for
if
it.
he's just your friend?
Even if he's just my friend.
Okay. All right.
You know, and it you know, is really scary as a gay student. You know, I'm trying to figure out my feelings, understand my faith, and on top of it, you know, everybody is watching me, and I'm so worried and afraid of losing, you know, all that I've worked for academically.
Right, because you're still Mormon. You want to be a Mormon, but you want to also live your authentic life, like you said. That must be very confusing.
Yeah, something I've got to deal with every single day. I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah. And is that why you waited until graduation to come out? Because it is such a hard thing to be in that honor code in that school?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I'm not sure if you're aware, the white thing that I'm wearing around my neck in my graduation, it's called a stole of honor. And so when you wear that, you get to choose somebody to honor. And so I actually decided to choose someone that was in one of my classes my freshman year. So it was just my second semester. And I chose to honor a student named Harry Fisher. So it was his last semester, and he was sort of in a similar situation as I was, and he decided to come out on Facebook. And because of the rhetoric and sort of the response that he got from our community, he actually ended up committing suicide. You know, he sat right in front of me, and I saw him do that, and I thought, is that my future? Is that what I'm headed toward? So I thought, if I came out at graduation, maybe a student like me, a freshman, could see, no, my future is something brighter, it's something better. We can succeed, we can do what we want and accomplish our dreams, and so that's why I chose to come out there.
It really is, it's all about visibility, and I think a lot of times some people want to keep us quiet and pushed away because they don't understand it or they're fearful, and for different reasons, and I think that we all want to be seen, you know, whoever we are, we should all be seen.
Absolutely.
And so what you did was pretty amazing because, and especially to be here, you are going to be seen by a lot of young people that say, I can be happy, I can be successful. And I know your dad had this is amazing. Tell what your dad said.
Yeah, so the night before, I told my dad, hey, listen, I think I'm going to include this in my speech. I just want you to be aware. And I'm really worried about how my aunts and uncles are going to respond, my grandparents, you know, and beyond that. And my dad looked at me and he said, Matt, if people have a problem with what you're going to say, you know, it's a problem with them, not with you. We love you, we're here for you, and that's all that matters.
That's a good dad.
He's a great dad.
Yeah. That's a good dad. All right, so what do you want to do when you graduate?
Well, you know, I'm moving up to Salt Lake City. I'm going to start a new internship there. I'm hoping long-term. I studied political science. I'd love to make it out to D.C. or somewhere. But in the meantime, you know, just looking for a new place. And I'd really, really love to get involved with the LGBTQ community in Salt Lake. You know, for a long time, I've been really afraid and kind of scared to participate. And now's my time to shine. You know, I'm ready to live authentically, and I want to get involved.
That's great. Well, Dan Reynolds did a lot for that community there, too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing. Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons did a documentary that was incredible. Well, my friends at Shutterfly love inspiring stories like you and like yours, and they want to give you a check for $10,000 to help you do whatever you want. All right, Matt. We'll be right back.
Wow, I watch you a lot, so this is cool.
Now you're inside of it.
Yeah, I'm inside. I almost walked over there. That was embarrassing.
That's all right.
I have so much to say to you, but you got to go first.
All right. No, you can go first if you do what you want to do.
Well, it's because, all right, I was here before. Last time I was here, I was doing comedy. I was promoting. I had a show, the Carmichael Show, that I was here to promote. And I talked to you, but at the time, I was closeted and really, really afraid. And it's one of those things where it's like I had so much to say to you, and you were definitely like such an inspiration in a specific way, and I almost missed that opportunity to come and say it to you. And it's like really nice to be able to be here again. I'm very thankful for that. I'm specifically thankful for you because, I mean, we both face whatever obstacles coming out, and everyone has their own personal journey and, you know, family things and personal things to overcome. But, you know, you faced coming out at a time when, I mean, it just was impossible. There was no precedent. Like, there was no Ellen DeGeneres, you know, to come out, to show you what it's like. and you faced a lot, but I watched it with my mom. Like, I watched all of it. I watched your sitcom. I watched you talk to Oprah. I watched the interpretive dance in the special, you know. And my mom watched you and she laughed at you, and you were welcome in the home. And it's no small thing. I don't want to discount that because it's really, really huge, being Southern and Christian and these things that, you know, the idea of having a gay person welcome in my mother's home, it seemed impossible, and you did it, and I'm thankful. It's no small thing. It's really, really huge. You know, you're like a gay white Desmond Tutu. You're just like, like, you know, spreading, you know, love, and it was so important. And so I just wanted to say all that. I'm sorry to go first and take up all the time, but okay, that's mostly what I wanted to say.
Thank you for that. It's no small thing for anyone to come out, as you said. So for you, and I'm really proud. I texted you right away.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I mean, I texted you and I said, you're my hero, because it is a very difficult thing to do. And the way you did it, I have so many questions, because you came out in your HBO special. And the way you talk and the way you do comedy is different than the way I do comedy. I mean, you kind of tell stories, and there's definitely a story to be told, but it's not like you have things written down. So, and obviously, when you say you're gay out loud for the first time, it's one thing to tell your friends you're gay or your parents you're gay, but when you say it in a public way, you said it in your special when you released the word from your mouth. It just kind of flowed out as part of your sentence. And I was wondering what that emotion was, because you don't get to practice that. You know, you did that in your special, and you said, I'm gay, to a crowd, not knowing how they would respond, not knowing what they would do. So what was that emotion you felt when you said that?
Terrified, very terrified. I never thought I would do it. I never thought I would say it. I never thought I would publicly be out and gay. Like, saying it professionally or saying it on stage was hard in that moment. Coming out to people felt like coming out to my family. It was like an audience that even resembled my family in many ways. It's that they were black. That's the many ways. But, you know, it was beautiful in that moment. Like, it's like a lingering few seconds where I say it, and like, it's a release and a relief, but yeah, it was really scary. I was really scared.
And so you're still, I know you're still processing this. You shot it in February, and then it just started airing recently.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. I can't believe it didn't leak. I can't believe that didn't come out until right before you hosted SNL. And I'm just wondering how you're still processing this. And first of all, you know what? I'm going to take a break because I want answers, and I don't want you to rush. So we'll take a break. More with Gerard after this. We are back with the marvelous Gerard Carmichael. And Gerard, so your first HBO special, there's a section in there that you start talking about if you're gay, the best way to come out would be. And you do this whole thing, and most people who are closeted, most people who are gay, are scared to go anywhere near that subject. People that are closeted and gay usually go the opposite way and try to act like, you know, I mean, to an extent, be homophobic.
Yeah.
But you just start talking about, like, the best way to come out would be this, and all these jokes. And I thought, why would you do that unless you were floating the idea out there to see how people would react? It's
all a part of removing myself from it. I felt distant from it. And I think a lot of my act was that it wasn't personal, it's all project. So I'm saying things about gay people the way I would say things about relationships or women or you know, politics or anything, you know, and I'm just projecting and throwing things out there, trying to distance myself, you know, and you know, I'm sure some of the bits and things in my life that I deeply regret, like, were a product of, like, self-hate in self-denial, like denying who I really was. And so I think the material and a lot of those things, like when I wasn't talking about myself, I was talking about everybody else, you know, outside of myself, just throwing punches and missiles as much as I could, all smoke bombs, all like distractions from who I really was and the thing I was afraid of.
Did you feel at the time you were carrying self-hate and shame, or do you just realize it now looking back, seeing the difference in how you feel now?
You don't call it that, you know, you don't call it self-hate at the time. You know, that's something, you know, therapy helps you figure out.
I know you came out to your parents before, but what did they think after they saw the special? Is your mom, in the special you talk about your mom not really wanting to accept it?
It's not easy. It's not easy. And you said things in text that really meant a lot to me, like that really explained how I felt and where I was and where I am in this moment. I'm making the decision to be sturdy, you know, like kind of accepting things, you know, that are and things that I can't change. Sound like I'm just saying the serenity prayer right now, but like, but it is a long time coming for me to be able to be in that position. It means some distance from my family, but that's okay. It's okay, you know. It doesn't have to be, and I hope that it changes. But you know, that's what it is right now. But it doesn't mean it's a sacrifice of happiness, you know. And I think that's really, really important to say.
Well, I said it before, I'll say it again. You're, you know, you talk about, I'm glad that I did what I did for myself. I did it selfishly, but I know that I helped a lot of people. And as I said in the test, you're going to help a lot of people. And as long as there are examples of healthy, you know, successful people, that helps parents not be scared, because the whole reason parents are scared of having gay children is because they think they're going to get hurt, they're going to get beat up, they're going to commit suicide. And the only way that keeps happening is because not enough people come out and represent. So every time someone smart like yourself comes out and says, I'm gay, I'm happy, I'm successful, you can be too, it helps parents feel a little bit better. So thank you for that.
I pray that it does. I really pray that it does.
You look great. Your hair looks great. You look great. And, you know, you recently said, and I don't know if this is true, but you said that being on the show actually helped you come out to your parents.
Absolutely. I mean, you know how you're just iconic, and the whole community just appreciates you because, you know, you took the blow, man. You were the first one to really be out like that, and it helped so many of us. It, you know, it normalized things, and yeah, and you know, but it just helped with my parents having a hard time to deal with it and all, and then their friends coming up to them and say, "Oh my God, we love Ellen, and we love when Wanda's on Ellen." And it makes a difference, and you made a big difference, and we're, you know, always grateful for what you did.
Well, that's so sweet, Wanda. I mean, you make a big difference too. I mean, everybody obviously that lives their truth, and everyone needs examples of positivity and love and success, and sees that, you know, we're just like anybody else. And now you're married, you have kids, and you're doing well, and your kids are now, they're 12.
Yeah, they just turned 12. Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's what do you get 12-year-olds for their birthday?
Well, you can get them a lot of things. They don't want any of it, but you know, it's like all the things that they ask for. I'm like, no, you know, like they want phones, and we're saying no, not until you're 13. They want. You know, Lucas wants Fortnite, and we kept saying, no, you're not playing that game. It's, you know, and the thing is, now they do the thing of, oh, well, our friends have it, our friends play, and I'm trying to tell them that they're friends, that doesn't mean anything to me, you know? What they want to make things happen, they should say things like, you know, when, Sasha and Malia were 12, they got phones, or, you know, Sasha and Malia, they play Fortnite, then, you know, maybe I would go,
Yeah.
let me think about this, because I care about that.
Not the friends. Well, let's find out what Sasha and Malia got when they were 12, and we can compare. What is Olivia? So he wants Fortnite. What is Olivia into?
She's into makeup now.
Yeah.
She likes makeup, but we only let her wear it around the house. So she's very fancy at dinner. Very. Very. I mean, it's like we should do like a red carpet for her coming to dinner. Yeah. She's all dolled up.
That's hilarious. That would be my worst nightmare. If I had a daughter and she wanted to be into makeup, I would not know how to help her or deal with that at all. And I would...
Oh.
Yeah.
Nothing. I got nothing for her. Nothing.
Well, Shelley, I can't tell you, I am one of those people who can completely understand how you have felt in the past and how you must feel right now, but I'm really proud of you because it's a hard thing to do. When you're in this business and your livelihood depends on people liking you, you're so careful of something like that that you think they'll just turn on you. So I'm really proud of you. That was a brave thing to do.
Thank you very
Really
much.
was.
Thank
And I know you had some help. I heard that I'm really proud of my mother. My mother wrote. I'll give her a plug right now. It's been around for a long time, but she wrote a book called Love Ellen, and I understand you gave this to your dad to help him understand.
I did. I did, actually.
Yeah.
I love this book. Shortly after I came out to my father, first of all, I'm freaking out that I'm on your show. I am such a fan. You've inspired my life in so many ways. I think you're so funny, of course, like we all do. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, your comedy, of course, but when you came out, it inspired me, but it also terrified me.
Yeah, I bet.
And I was watching the episode of your television show when you came out, oddly enough, with my father. I went home for a funeral, and I was watching it with my sister and my father, both of whom did not know at the time that I was gay. And you may not want to hear this part, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay. No, I want to hear what happened.
My father, the minute you came out, he reached for the remote control, and he flipped the TV off, and he said, "That's disgusting." And it sent me into a spiral.
I bet.
And I made that promise again, recommitted myself to never again tell anyone in my family or in the record by in public that I was gay, that I am gay.
Yeah.
And of course, I found myself in a very precarious situation where my father and I were growing apart, and I had to tell my father because my life with him was becoming very detached, and I had to tell him. I wanted to tell him. And the minute I did tell him, there's a picture. That's actually the night I did tell him. Now, I want you to look at that water bottle. That looks like a water bottle, but in the bottom of the water bottle, that's chewing tobacco. He came up on stage the night after I told him, right before that show, and he addressed the crowd. That was his hometown of El Dorado Springs, Missouri. And he said, "I'm so glad you guys came out to see my daughter. I'm really proud of her. Now, kid, get back to singing." But shortly after I told him that I am gay, he came to my house, and I said, "Dad, I want you to read a book." And I had read your mother's book, and I was fearful that I would never have a parent like your mother. And my dad is the biggest advocate, and my dad has amazed me, and my dad is walking in the footsteps of Betty DeGeneres.
Wow. Wow. You know, I think I hear the story. Obviously, it happened 12 years ago. A lot of people sat down with their parents to watch that night, hoping that that would be a beginning of a conversation, hoping that they would get the positive response instead of the response that you got, which is "that's disgusting," and turn the TV off. And but I think a lot of parents just need to understand if the kid is sitting down with you, they're trying to tell you something, and they're trying to be a part of your life and trying to hopefully be loved unconditionally, which is what everyone asks for, is just to be loved unconditionally. That's what you want as a person, not just a child, but as a person. But I'm really, so why did you call it Like Me? What's that mean?
I called my book Like Me because the day that I decided to come out, Ellen, was the day that I was halfway in the middle of making my record, Lifted Off the Ground, with my amazing producer, Rodney Crowell. And he didn't know that I was gay. Can you imagine making a record with someone who doesn't know your innermost secret? And I finally had to confide in him that I am gay. And I said, Rodney, there's one song I've been holding back from you, and I believe it's the musical centerpiece of all of these songs that we've been working on. And I held it back from him because it's clear in this song that it's about me in a relationship with a woman. He said, play it for me. And I said, no, I'll email it to you, so go home. And I went down to my computer, emailed it to him, and it's called Like Me. After I emailed it, I opened a Word document, and I wrote the title page of my book, and that's the day I started my book. And I thought that the best title for my book was Like Me for a couple of reasons. Because of that song, and because my entire childhood, I searched my entire town of Wellsville, Kansas, for anybody who was like me, and I couldn't find anyone.
It's a scary place to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's, I think that's why it's important for people that have this platform to be a representative, because there are lots of people like you out there. People who feel like there's nobody else like you. There's lots of people. And the more that it's hidden, the more that everybody says it's nobody's business, nobody needs to know about it. It's because there are kids out there getting bullied at school and getting killed.
Yeah.
So it's important to people that they know that there are other people like them. So it's a good name.
And I felt, you know, I've been making country records. I've just released my 7th record, and country music fans, I don't know if there are any country fans in the audience. But by all measure, they do like me. And they've given me hit records, and they've given me awards and nominations. And I felt that it's really wrong of me to let them assume for one more minute that I am not gay. Mm-hmm. Because I know that there is a 14-year-old girl or a 15-year-old boy sitting in his bedroom feeling like an alien in some little, you know, I know there has been so much progress made, thanks to you, thanks to people who have stepped forward in tougher situations than mine. But there's a reason no country artists are coming out. And I can't, it felt criminal to allow people to not know my entire truth. I am the girl you always thought I was, but I happen to be a lesbian as well, and I always have been.
Your career is like, it is amazing. What were you doing last year?
Last year, I was at my sister's house. I was sleeping on my sister's floor, you know, promoting my music because I couldn't go back home. Because, like, my parents would be like, you out of school for music? Yeah, like what are you doing? And, you know, it's understandable.
Right.
But, like, yeah, just, like, promoting myself online heavily,
Heavily. So a year later, from sleeping on your sister's floor, you had the #1, first of all, history-making #1 song for 19 weeks in a row. 19 weeks in a row. You won 2 VMA awards, and then you decide to come out, which is, first of all, I mean, I can't tell you how much I admire you, because most people are, as you know, are fearful of that because they think it's going to affect their career. And here you are at the height of, like, your brand new career, brand new, and you decide to come out. And I don't think anybody, did your family know you were gay?
My dad and my sister, but the same month that I came out, I told them pretty much, I guess to give them like a heads up. Just like, you know, a little earlier in the month before I did it.
A month before you, so you hit it and you tweeted it out, right?
Yes.
So what did you feel like when you, first of all, what inspired you to do that then?
Hold on, nobody's in this box, no?
No, no. No.
Okay.
No.
Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
What I was saying.
No.
I was going to do it later, but I was scared you were going to open the box. So let's take a look at that. I think it was Billy Ray Cyrus that did it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it.
It's all right.
Because you actually, during rehearsal, you said nobody's going to scare me, right? And we had no intention until you said that. And then I thought, oh, we should scare him.
I caused it.
Yeah, you did. You set the intention. All right, but seriously, because this is really, I think, is such an admirable thing to do. So what did you feel and what inspired you to come out at that time?
Just knowing, like, it was something that I should have been done, but I was not in a position where I had to worry about, like, family and friends, like, how they would react, I guess. But it's like, you know, in the past year, like, I'm in a new level, so it's like, it doesn't really matter, I guess. And also just how it would be good for the youngins who are listening to me right now.
Yep.
Who gonna have to go through stuff like this in the future.
Right.
To know, like, it's all right, I guess.
Yep. It is all right. Are you in a relationship right now?
Somewhat.
All right.
Somewhat.
Because you're very good looking. You're
Thank you.
very good looking.
Thank you. You are too, Ellen.
Oh, thank you. Well, and yet we're not right for each other. I have to say, you know, what a brave person you are, and congratulations for coming out this year. You have a lot of young fans. You've made such a difference.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
it's huge that you did that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, you have so much support. You're known, I mean, you're 18 years old and you're known as a gay icon. And do you take that on, or how do you feel about that label?
It's wild to me, I think, because I look at people who are called gay icons, you, Lady Gaga, Freddie Mercury, my favorite people, and to be in that category at 18 is just insane, and it's just because of who I am. It feels amazing. A lot of people have told me, you know, that I'm a gay icon already, which is wild. But one thing that actually just happened a few days ago is I was explaining to my dancers that are going to be coming on tour with me, I was explaining to them what my concert was like. And I was like, think of it as like 4-year-olds and gay 19-year-olds. It's like Kids Bop meets Pride Fest. That's my concert, literally. Kids Bop meets Pride Fest.
It's amazing because also this was it really is. It's not a small thing to be that brave, and it's getting easier in the world. But it's a big thing for someone in this business to say, I don't care if there's going to be repercussions. I don't care what this is. This is who I am,
Totally.
and this is what I stand for. So it's a big deal.
Thank you.
But anyway, and then you do Dancing with the Stars, and I think people thought it was their idea, but it was your idea to have a same-sex partner.
Yes, so obviously it's never been done before. There's never been a same-sex couple on the show. And immediately when I got the email to do it, I was like, oh, awesome. Oh, I'm gonna have to dance with a dude. That's gonna be weird. But I was down. But then, you know, after talking for a minute, there was an option to dance with a female. And immediately, without thinking twice, I was like, this is what's right for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I am so happy with the outcome of me coming out. The world has taken it so positively, and it's impacted so many young kids in such a way that hearing adults say, I wish I had someone like you when I was little, that makes me know that the kids that are little have someone like me too.
Exactly, exactly.
And so doing this, being partnered with another female on the show, it just shows all the little kids watching like, oh, cool, boy, cool. Okay, cool, boy, girl. Okay, cool, boy, girl. Wait, a girl, girl? That's cool, too. It just makes it more normal.
Yeah.
And not so stereotypical.
Yeah, and I think it helps. I think the most important thing, parents are fearful for their kids that they're going to get bullied, they're going to get picked on, whatever, and that's ultimately the fear.
Totally.
And when they see that we can be successful and happy and productive in the world, I think it helps parents go, okay, whatever makes them happy.
Absolutely.
It's so nice to meet you, see you, although I say meet you, but I understand we've met before.
We have. We met on April 30th, 1997. And I know that date so well because it was the night that the puppy episode came out. And I was bummed because I had to work. I was working in a restaurant in San Francisco called Zuni Cafe. And I was the closer. So it was about 9:45, and I was just happy that, you know, people were clearing out. And they're like, Coleman, we have one last table for you. I was like, oh, man, really? They're like, yeah, but I think you'll like the table. And I go to my table, and you're sitting there with a friend, and I'm blown away because I'm like, wait, this is the most epic night in the world. And she's here with me. This is cool because also, as an openly gay actor who was coming up in the Bay Area, it was a significant moment, and I knew it meant everything. And so you were looking down because there's an alleyway right off of the table, and there were a group of kids. They were like maybe 15, 16-year-olds, maybe about 5 of them. And you said, out of nowhere, you were halfway done your meal, you said, is it okay if we buy them some food, dessert, something? And I said, I would love that. I think the kitchen's closed, but I think we can do dessert. So I went down, and I said, hey, guys, Mr. Generous would like to buy you guys some food. And they were like, what? Get out of here. Are you kidding me? What? I said, yeah, she's right there. They're like, get out of here. So I brought them in, sat them down at some tables, and served them. And they were, when I tell you, it was the most beautiful, the kindest gesture I had seen to date. And I've always wanted to sit here and tell you that story, because it meant the world.
Yeah, well, thanks. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. Coming out is different for everyone. Some people tell their parents in the privacy of their own home, and some people tell them in a sold-out arena of 17,000 people with the help of Harry Styles. Take a look.
My mum is in section 201. Where is... Can we get the house lights up all the way at the top somehow? There she is. What would you like to tell your mother?
There's a lot of people.
There is a lot of people. Did you not know? Do you want to tell her or should I tell her?
Can you tell her?
I can tell you, yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Excuse me. Lisa! She's gay!
From Antelope Valley, California, please welcome McKinley and her mom, Lisa. Hello, you two.
Hi,
How are you?
Generous.
Yes, I am. You're McKinley. Hi.
Hi.
Yes. This is a great story. I think it's fantastic.
you.
And it happened how long ago? A couple of weeks ago.
November 3rd
Okay.
is the date that it happened.
Now that time has passed, how are you feeling about it?
Very overwhelmed, but the actual coming out of it, I feel so relaxed. I feel like authentically and true to myself. Thank you. I just feel like I probably feel the happiest I felt like in a long time. So I'm so grateful for everything that's happened.
And it's so smart to do because you go to a lot of his concerts. Now you can meet someone because they're all going to go, oh, she's available.
Yeah, that was the first thing my brother texted me. He was like, I hope your dating life gets better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and then I have to ask, y'all were in completely different sections, and
Yes.
why were you in the seats way up there and you were down next to him?
Yeah, so I knew she'd be more comfortable actually sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 days before the concert, I was able to actually get her a ticket, actually be able to buy her a ticket. So that's why she's in section 201 and I'm in the pit. That's why we're separate.
So it was just 2 days before that you got her. So this was not like a plan for months knowing you were going to do this. This was a last minute decision.
Yeah, it was last minute. I had come out to my siblings a couple months ago, so I knew I wanted to come out to her. It's a very weird new tradition at his shows that he's starting to help fans come out. And he says this speech, and it's at every stop. And he goes, my job for the next 90 minutes is to entertain you, but your job, it's to have the time of your life. It's to be whoever you want to be in this room, to love whoever you want to love in this room, and just have the best time of your life. So thinking about that, thinking that I got my mom a ticket, I was like, well, that must be a sign to make the sign. And that's what I did. And I had a backup sign in case I got nervous.
What was the backup sign?
It said, thank you for everything. And I had hearts everywhere. Because I didn't know if I could go through with it.
So Lisa, and then how, that must have been, was it a surprise or did you have an idea?
Oh, no. It was a complete surprise. So when she was staying with me, she made the sign. And she asked that I not be in the same room. And so I'm up in the rafters up by the ceiling. And when I was up in the ceiling.
Sounds like a fun place for you to be. Yeah.
Yes, thanks for the ticket. So when he started reading the signs, I could see on the Jumbotron the gold, And I heard him say my mom, and I knew then that he was talking to my daughter, and I'm hitting everyone around me, that's my daughter's sign. But I still, at that point, had no idea what she was gonna say or what it read. And then he read it.
And then it looked like you got emotional.
Yeah, so what happens at that moment, you're flooded with adrenaline and emotion, and I was very proud of her. I was very proud of her. I knew how she felt about this artist, and to share such an intimate part of her life with an entire venue.
Yeah.
I was very proud of her. I loved her. I still do. I'm sorry. I love her very much for doing that.
Less because you put her at the ceiling, but you know.
But I just, at that moment, I wanted to touch her. I wanted to touch her so much and just give her a really big hug and tell her that I supported her, but I couldn't. So I'm like, what can I do real fast to tell her that I loved her? And so that's when I blew the kisses and I sent her kisses.
Well, you're the kind of mom that every child wants, that unconditional love. That's all we want.
I just love her very much.
That's all we want, is to have the same exact love. It doesn't change anything. It's exactly, we're just being honest to the world. I got you a new sign that you're going to go tonight, right?
Yeah.
All right, I have a new sign that you're going to bring out. Here we go. It says, me again, my mom and I went on Ellen. She says hi. Other than that, no new news. That's your sign for tonight.
Thank you. What the heck? I'll hold this up high.
Our first guest has been nominated for 7 Grammys, won 4 CMA Awards, and yesterday he did something incredibly brave when he publicly came out as gay. From Brothers Osborne, please welcome TJ Osborne.
Hey, Ellen.
Hi, TJ. Thanks so much for being here.
It's so good to be here. Just hearing you say that, just honestly, it made me so emotional. I'm trying not to cry on national television right now.
Yeah, I get it. It's a very emotional thing. For something to keep shoved way, way down for a long time and to finally be able to say, even saying the sentence, when you say, I'm gay, it's a weird sentence to come out of your mouth, even though you've known it for a long time, because you don't think you're ever going to say that sentence.
You're right. It is weird to say. And even in doing this, I noticed when I addressed my Instagram account just to make a quick little video, even though I was coming out, it still felt really odd to say it then. And I think that's kind of the really beautiful thing of all this for me is I've never really come out to very many people. I've only done it to a few people, mainly because I find it just really awkward and uncomfortable. And so it has been a really wild experience to have come out to very few people, although a lot of my friends and family knew already, to kind of come out publicly in one big foul swoop, which was in some ways nice, in other ways has made it for a very emotional day.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure it is. It's just, I think people don't understand because, you know, it's something that you're supposed to be ashamed of, you're not supposed to say, you're not supposed to be, and straight people don't ever have to shove something down and all of a sudden say to someone, I'm straight. Like, you know, that's not an emotional thing.
Exactly right, and that's what, you know, I was asked, like, why do you have to do this? And you know, in a perfect world, I wish I didn't have to. And I kind of told myself for a long time that, you know, if everything is equal here and it's not that big of a deal, then why do I have to come out? And unfortunately, it just isn't that way. And I kind of got to this point to where I knew there was really never going to be the perfect time. And that really, honestly, now that I'm kind of behind it now with the coming out, that it's so like wild to me to think about really the perfect time is always now, you know? And I honestly, I instantaneously felt, thank you. I instantaneously felt like I wish I had done this a long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, of course people say that because it feels so freeing when you finally do it and to not have any secrets and to not feel shame about yourself, which is the most important thing. But you know, the time is right now for you. But yeah, if you really start thinking about it and you're thinking, well, when is the right time? It's never the right time unless you say, now, it's right time. But you know, it's because you're in country music, and I think that's a genre that is more difficult, it seems, than any other music. Why do you think that is?
You know, I think country really comes from a lot of rural roots that are a lot of kind of Christianity and a lot of kind of old school way of thinking. And I really think that's changed a lot over the years. And I know it's changed a lot over the years. And, you know, I'm really kind of, I'm curious to see how it all plays out with us going into rural America. You know, I feel pretty confident going into places like LA and going to Chicago and playing here in Nashville where I live. And, you know, I'm curious to see how it is in kind of the more rural counties and such. And part of me, you know, I've been, the other thing, just to touch on what you said earlier, Ellen, you know, I think not only is it a weight off of my shoulders to kind of tell my truth, but I don't think I expected a wave of love from family and friends, and I did not expect it to feel the way it felt. And, you know, I think it's one thing when you just know and assume people love you, and it's different when you hear it, and when you hear it with sincerity. And right now I feel so incredibly loved, and it's one of those things where, you know, I'm like, God, I wish that I could share this love with other people and to feel this way, and then to have people that I never even expected to say anything reaching out to me, people that I feel like personify masculinity and straight culture to the nth degree, who are coming out with a lot of pride for me. And it really is one of those things that was really the moment to me that made me feel like, wow, that was there the whole time. And yeah, I think there are some people out there that there's a lot of hurdles clearly with people that don't like gay people. I mean, it's just a thing. And but in some respects, I do feel like, you know, maybe I through my insecurities, I've built it up to maybe be a bigger hurdle than it really was the whole time.
Well, I think what you just said is right. There are going to be people who just have strong opinions, and you can't change their minds, and that's who they are. But, you know, I think especially when you say a lot of Christians, it is all about loving people and loving one another. So I think you're going to have a lot of Christians that are going to love you and accept you for who you are, because they should, because that's the Christian way. But I'm just so proud of you, and I you know, I just wish everyone, because as we know, there are a lot of people in every field and sport, and I just wish everybody could do it, because it would help a lot of people out there that are struggling, and you're going to help a whole lot of people, a lot of young boys that want to be in country music and say, I don't know how to do that. You're a huge role model now. And I have to ask you, your son EJ came out publicly, and to other parents out there who have a child who is gay, when they come out, and I'm sure being an athlete and being who you are, I think you would have great advice for a parent to understand what that's like for a child to say, I'm gay.
Well, I think it's all about you not trying to decide what your daughter or son should be or what you want them to become. It's all about loving them no matter who they are, what they decide to do. And when my son came out, I was so happy for him and happy for us as parents. And we love him. And EJ is amazing. And so you gotta support your child. And because it's so many people who try to discriminate against them. So they need you to support them. Because if you don't support them, who's gonna support them and love them? You know, it's really important. So.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about, I'm really, obviously, very proud of you for coming out. You came out on Facebook and talked about Amber, who you've been together I think you have a picture of, how long have you and Amber, how long have you all been together?
That was my birthday. You know, and this is when I'm taking one for the team. She photographed much better in this picture than I did, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna use this picture because you look so doggone good, and I'm like, you know. But we met on a blind date.
How long ago?
Almost 9. It'll be 9 years. 9 years in July. 9 years. Yes.
And I'm reading in the book that you don't live together. I guess it'd be hard because you wake up at 3 a.m. every day, and I wouldn't want to wake up to that either. But is that why?
You wouldn't want to take
No, not that. No. But every morning at 3 a.m., I would not want to hear the alarm. So this must have been because she was by your side. You talk about her a lot in the book.
Right.
And yet she was living a quiet, like kind of closed life.
Well, because she doesn't really like the spotlight. Like, she's here right now. I can't get her to come out. She's like, right?
Well, she came out. But anyway, yeah. It's too late for that now.
just, woo! I set you up for that. Yeah. No, but you know, not everybody wants to be in the spotlight.
Yes.
She's very, very supportive, and she's been right there beside me every step of the way. And it was actually the end of the year on my Facebook. And I had been thanking my doctors and nurses, my sister, who was a perfect match, and rightfully so. And I asked her, I said, I want to say thank you. And in the book, she takes the caregiver's point of view. And it's really funny because sometimes we didn't see the same thing eye to eye. And I thought it was very powerful for people because there's so many that care for their loved ones. And so to see her side of it and see my side of it, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, there were some fights. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing thing that
Right.
she has been by your side, and I'm really, obviously, you know, it's wonderful to have someone who has had the courage and strength to do it and be another face for, look, we're successful, happy people that can fall in love and deserve everything that everyone else has. You know?
And I look to you, Ellen, and you were such a trailblazer, and I've told this to you and to your mother as well, that my mother was so angry the way you were treated. She knows you, she knows your family, and she became very just disturbed with the reaction and was so happy to see how, with the show, and she was able to live with that, but it really helped me to have that discussion, and you have helped a lot of people like myself, have that discussion with their families because you are so well respected and loved, and it's really helped a lot of us, and I thank you for that.
And you will help a lot of people too. I thank you. Everybody loves you though. I mean, you have fans, but you also, everyone in the industry admires you so much, and your voice is just, I mean, I've never heard such a, it's a crazy beautiful voice. And what's amazing about you is just before you launched your CD, you came out, which could have been a catastrophe. It could have been like you're just known for that, and it would have overshadowed your...
Well, it didn't feel like a coming out. I came out when I was like 4 years old. My mum said she knew when I was like 3, so I didn't have to actually properly come out.
So you waited a year to tell her?
Yeah. Well, I waited a year. But so I came out at a very, very young age, and then I kind of felt like I just had to mention it before I released my record, just so people knew that the record was who it was about. And I don't know, it felt like a brave thing to do as well. I wanted to do it before.
Yeah.
Because people would have thought, if I did it afterwards, people probably would have thought I was lying just to sell records, which wasn't the case.
Right. Well, that's great that you did that. I think, and what's more, I think the most important thing is what matters is talent.
Yes.
And you know, this just happens to be who you are, but it's talent. And you know, so which is all that anybody wants, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I get upset sometimes because I don't talk about it too much. People say to me, you know, he doesn't want to be a spokesperson for the gay community, and it's like, I do, of course I do, but I want to be a spokesperson for everyone, you know, straight people, gay people, bisexual, anything, you know. I don't want it to be limited.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, I think, you know, spokesperson is a weird title to have. I mean, nobody, some people want to dedicate their lives to that, and that's fine.
I'm 22 as well. I'm still trying to figure everything out.
Yeah. You could change tomorrow. You could be straight tomorrow.
I could.
But no, but I think that it is more important to just have a presence and awareness. And I think the most important thing is just that everyone is represented on television and in music, and so that people at home that are scared and that are bullied and that are suicidal and all these things, there are a lot of people out there that are struggling. So it's nice to have someone going, look, I'm successful, I'm who I am, and you don't need to talk about it. It just is who you are.